welcome. Excuse me. It is Moon Day. I'm so excited to be back, and it's a brand new month. It's a brand new week, and we have a new moon this Friday on Venus Day. So we have lots to talk about. New moon in Cancer is going to be all the feels, but really, if you think about the fact that Cancer is our inner home and our rawness, then this new moon, you can interpret it as the seeds that you're planting for your home life. And for some of us, that is, we are right on track with, moving to new places, right? This summer or in the fall. And so I'm excited for this new moon. Good evening, Ron. Good evening. Welcome. So excited that you're here. How's your week? How's your weekend? We have a new moon this Venus day, so I was just talking about that. And yeah, the whole room is clean and the walls are bare. This is the last wall that is the same, and it's not the same because I've been putting things away, packing them away. And so, hi Nani, welcome. Next week this wall might be bare. I don't know if it will be, but it might just be completely bare because the ball is rolling and things are happening, and I'm so excited. And this weekend was momentous in our home because my 5-year-old, who is a very picky eater, borderline, I would say ARFID. If you don't know what that is, look it up, ARFID. But it's about food restrictions or food sensitivities. And this past weekend, my child decided that he wanted to try Puff Cheetos. He just said, "Can I have chips?" And I said, "Sure." And he said, "No, can I have those chips?" And he pointed at the Cheetos, and I gave him one, and he very reluctantly, like this was a whole thing, very reluctantly, tried it and tasted it with his mouth and his face like this, and then he ate it, and then he asked for more, and he's still asking for more today. So safe to say, we can add another food to the list of very limited things my special needs child consumes. And I'm just excited that he decided to try something new. It shows that he feels safe in lots of ways, and that's a lot of progress. So yay, we're celebrating the little one. And yeah, I don't want to say there's a lot riding on this new moon coming up on Friday, but there's a lot of hope at play when there's big moves happening. And I don't mean packing up and moving, I mean big moves in your life, big moves that may even be small steps, but that are just, the ripple effects of a small step can be huge. And so, think chaos theory or the butterfly effect, or just, touching the water and how the ripples expand. The ripple effect of the things that we do day to day really does add up. And that's what we like to talk about, right? Being productive and getting the ball rolling and keeping it moving. And so here we are on the month of July already. Halfway there, right? If you are following Moon Magic and Mindfulness with Grace 2024 Manifestation Agenda / journal, then you have your monthly pages, which I haven't filled out. I wanted to keep it blank so that we could discuss live, but these will be filled out by tomorrow or probably tomorrow. But every month you get to ponder what your manifestations for the month will be. And so when it comes to coaching, bringing up a big idea or a big plan or a big hope and dream is the first step, because we want to consider what is the one thing we would really like to manifest or to make happen or to make come true or to build. And then the work becomes how to break it into smaller chunks so that we can pace ourselves because there's just so much happening. And when I say so much, I mean we all have things going on aside from the hopes and dreams that we are kind of thinking about. And here's the thing. Saturn has been in Pisces for a long time, and now it's going to be retrograde for the next few weeks in Pisces. And so it's going to make us rethink some of the things or lessons that we have been pondering or experiencing, even subconsciously, for the past few weeks being in Pisces. But Pisces is that big dream that we want to come to life. Pisces is that, if I could do anything, it would be this. If I could go anywhere, it would be this place. But that kind of blanket statement or hopeful umbrella statement doesn't really include the necessary steps to get there, right? And then Saturn comes into Pisces and says, well, here are all these boundaries, like time and place and resources or lack thereof, and people and situations and emergencies and just things that happen, and a lot of boundaries related to how we maneuver all of those things. And Mars has been in Taurus for a while now as well. And so it's almost like, I mean, you tell me, but from where I sit and the way that it's been showing up for me is sitting a lot with my decisions before I kind of like take action, which is what Mars is about, right? Because Taurus is kind of taking its time and slowing it down, if you will. So, we're starting the month with the sun in Cancer, of course, because it's always in Cancer when we start July, but the sun in Cancer bringing an emotional emphasis to everything that's happening. And July 1st, today, Moon Day, we're starting the week with a waning crescent moon, which means we are just beginning to deal with the things that the full moon brought up 2 weeks ago and a month before, right? And purging what it is that is getting in the way. And the thing is that we repeat this cycle over and over, right? Because the moon is a cycle. It lasts 28 to 29 days, right? And so, I mean, although the months are 30 to 31 days, so let's just not talk about the Gregorian calendar, if you will. Every time there's a waning crescent moon, every time that we have a full moon, and now it's going to start gaining in shadow less and less light for the next 2 weeks leading up to the new moon, right? Every month during the waning phases, it's about letting go. It's about releasing. It's about scraping clean. It's about cleansing, purifying, because we want to make sure that the soil where we plant the seeds of the new moon, which is this Friday, is prime soil. Think when you're gonna plant a plant. Do you buy any special dirt, or do you just use the dirt that's there, even if it's, I don't know, dry and crusty? Or do you add food to it? Do you do you water it with only moon water or only spring water? We have water from a well here in Florida, right? So there's a chlorine system, and there's all these things happening to the water before it comes to the tap. And so I don't like to water my houseplants with tap water because it's gone through the system. I like to use spring water to water my plants. And I get it that that's a huge privilege, but it's the example that just came to my mind about how when we are planting seeds of intention, do we want to just say it out loud for kicks, try it on for size, or do we really mean it? Or do we really feel like we are ready to take action on those words? And the good thing about the moon cycle is that all of these type of internal conversations can happen over and over again every month, every cycle, for as long as they're coming up in your periphery until you're ready to take action. And sometimes it takes forever. And, and this is why personal projects are just not finished, maybe, right? Because things take forever. Life happens, emergencies come up, and just priorities in general, right? So I totally get it. And this halfway point, where we are now with July and Cancer and all the things happening, Pluto is still in Aquarius for the next 20 years. So hopefully the things that we are doing now, for example, we're moving, right? We want to make this happen for our family. And it's not the first time that we do this together or separately. But Pluto in Aquarius is almost demanding that we do it differently. And what does that look like? So how can we have those conversations? Those are some of the things that are happening. Dun, dun, dun. I've said a lot already, but let's continue. In July, we have the new moon in Cancer happening on June 5th, this Friday, and the full moon, the second full moon of the summer in Capricorn on June 21st. We start Leo season on this 22nd. And we're definitely going to talk more about the full moon in Capricorn later on. Hi, Emma. Lovely to see you. I was going to say something before Emma showed up, and now I don't remember, but I'll get it in a second. Believe you can, and you are halfway there. That's Theodore Roosevelt for you, and the agenda invites you to think about what your goal for the month is. What I was saying earlier about taking this big idea and thinking about this dream that seems out of reach or that seems kind of unfathomable given your resources and the boundaries presently at play. This big idea, and breaking it down into chunks, breaking it down into actionable pieces, right? That's what coaching is about. And so every month, what is your goal for the month? As of yesterday, I found out that in my bio as an author on Amazon, I should say, not in, I do that a lot, on Amazon, there's only 2 out of 3 books that should be there. And so I'm not going to make it the goal of the month, but I am going to make it the goal of the week on the Moon Day page, because this week I need to make sure that I figure out what that's about and that the books are where they're supposed to be. And I just found that out last night. So, things just flow in that way, and the book is meant to really assist you along the way. Reaching my goal for the month. So the goal for the month is to finish packing. How will that goal make me feel? It will make me feel so happy to just be one step closer to the main event. And I'm already grateful for you. I'm already grateful for all of the stuff that I've gotten done. I'm grateful for just family in general. Yay! Peter is here. Peter almost didn't make it, but he did. So glad that you made it, Peter. So glad. So yeah, what are your goals for the month? Peter, do you have any creative goals that you would like to share with the group? Ron, do you have any quotas for work? Emma, do you have any specific jobs that you're looking into? Emma is a chef, so she's always working and cooking delicious things up for events. And my baby sister, Nanny, what is your goal for the month? Because it's not often that we get to spend a moon day that is the first of the month. I'm so happy. Okay. And then Leo season starts, right, on the 22nd. I said that earlier. And let's not forget that Leo season is that coming into the light after Cancer has made us really think about the previous 6 months and sit with our feelings, whether we are ready or not. Yay! So that concludes our talk about the month. let's talk about Moon Day. We're starting with the moon in Taurus. So how are you feeling? Taurus tends to slow us down. So maybe you wanted to take a nap, or maybe you just didn't want to go to work at all, or even get up this morning. My child woke up extra early, actually, and it took me a long time to kind of feel like, okay, fine, I'm ready for the day. And I'm a Taurus, so is he. But my North Node is in Taurus, and I just feel like the moon in Taurus really just kind of slows me down. But it was still a productive moon day, so I'm grateful for that. This week, like I said, I will make sure to check my Amazon author page and fix that. This week, I will create, well, my creation is all over the place. My folder of content creation, let me just word it that way. My content creation for social media is all over the place because that's where we are. And so when I write this week, I will create. We've talked about it before, how it's not just about creating content. We create all of the time. Moments of stillness. I definitely need more of those. Moments of silence. I need to actually sometimes actively seek out silence, because if I have a headphones in, like a headphone or an AirPod in my ear, but it's not playing anything, it doesn't feel like silence to me, because one ear is open and the other one is not, and sensitive about things. And so sometimes I have to purposefully pay attention and be mindful of my body and of how I feel, and take the headphone out, put it away, and just listen. And I don't get a lot of time of silence right in my home. There's dogs, there's people, there's my child. And so for me to make sure that I create moments of silence, it's one of those challenges that I invite you to think about. What is it that you need? What would you like more of, or what have you been missing that maybe you can think about now, and then just write it down, or think, this week I want to make sure I do this. And the thing is that when you apply positive psychology, which is what coaching from Lumia and the International Coaching Federation is about, it's about creating these challenges for yourself to get that ball rolling, to get the needle moving, right? And then pondering how I'm feeling about it. How am I going to celebrate success? What does even success look like in this situation? So if I want to create more moments of stillness and more moments of silence, then I would really have to think hard about what success would look like in that scenario. And then at the end of the week, kind of reevaluate, did I do what I set out to do or not? What is the evidence that I did what I set out to do? And I'm hoping that if I'm set out to do, to create more moments of stillness, then the evidence can be that maybe I'm going to be less frazzled by the end of the week, because I've been feeling Friday and Saturday like the weight of the whole week, for, I would say, the past few weeks. And so these are the things that come to my head as examples. What about you? What's coming up for you? And then I'm so grateful for this whole weekend. We got to celebrate, and my little one has been saying, I'm so proud of you, because, he's repeating what we've been telling him. So that's fun. And I'm grateful for you absolutely every single day, and grateful for, let's see, I'm grateful for the rain, because it's been so hot. And when it rains, even though it's kind of uncomfortable because of, rain, it just feels so much better. Now, every moon day, we have an affirmation. So the affirmation for the week is, I embrace the wisdom of change, allowing old patterns to fade with the waning moon. creating space for new and nurturing beginnings in my life, coming, as the new moon is going to unfold this coming Friday. Emma says, when your little one goes to bed, go spend some time with the moon. It's probably still so humid though. Yes, well, the little one is already in bed, and I did take a very needed break after he went to bed, and then, in between getting ready for you all. So yes, usually after he goes to bed is the one time that I get to like lay down for a few and put my feet up and breathe. But the thing is that creating more moments of stillness or creating more moments of silence don't include doom scrolling and checking out sounds for content or checking in on the bestie chat. Now, all of those things are kind of positive because, I don't know, I like what I'm doing and I like to create content and I like to find cool sounds to use, and I definitely like to check in on all my besties, right? Yes. So it's not necessarily negative, but is it overstimulating in a subconscious level? And if it is overstimulating, even in a subconscious level, then it will affect me, right? As the week goes by or the more that I do it. And so this is why it becomes a very purposeful practice, and why the dialogue of the coaching conversation becomes so important. And it's because the accountability factor is there. Once you say it out loud, once you plan it out, once you describe it in such a way, and then once you put it into practice. And if you're not going to take notes, that's fine, but you're definitely going to go back to your observations, especially during a coaching call. And this whole week is primed for coaching, for having conversations with a counselor or with your therapist or with your trusted advisor, because Mercury is moving into Gemini, and Gemini is ruled by Mercury, first of all, but second of all, it's those relationships, conversations, family, friends. And as a coach, right, in this conversation, first and foremost, I would advise you to open up with somebody that you know and trust and love, but also somebody who can be objective in the way that they're listening to you, somebody who doesn't have their own agenda about your life. And this is why therapy and coaching can be so handy, right? Because it's not about the coach or therapist, it's about you and your life. Okay, so the moon in Taurus. Tomorrow it's going to be in Gemini, and so Jupiter is also in Gemini, allowing us or inviting us to really embrace this expansion that is happening. And the thing is that the circumstances may look really crowded, and the circumstances may make you feel like you are caving in. But Jupiter in Gemini, so Gemini is an air sign, it's all these conversations, it's this moment right here, right now. Gemini is the party. And Jupiter's presence in Gemini is about the joy of the expansion. It's about how it may look super uncomfortable, and it may probably feel uncomfortable too deep down, or, when you expand your view on it, there's just so much to be grateful for, so much to be joyful about, and so much excitement in the air. Right? I love how we have these little phrases that, what do they even mean? Saturn is retrograde in Pisces, like I said earlier, and the thing is that there's a challenging aspect between Saturn in Pisces and everything that's happening in Gemini, with Mercury moving into Gemini, and Jupiter in Gemini as well. So Pisces is all the way over here, and Gemini is all the way over here. And we've talked about how that 90-degree-ish, I'm not going to say it's a square because I don't have it in my notes and I don't remember, but that degree is just challenging in itself. Ooh, Betsy's calling. She's so funny. Anyway, the joy in the expansion. even though it's uncomfortable, even though growth hurts, growing pains, right? And then by Friday, we're going to have the moon in Cancer. And the thing is that when the sun, when there's a full moon in Cancer, emotion tends to run a little bit higher than when there's a new moon. New moons tend to be a little bit quieter, right? There's the darkness, the stillness, the fogginess, if you will, of the unknown, of the other side of the moon, right? And so, and it's not really the other side of the moon, but that's what I don't know, I've heard that before, because when I see the moon and I can see it because the sun is lighting it up, there's a dark side of the moon, right? So anyway, this new moon, which we're going to talk about now, is one of those new moons primed for manifesting, pondering our intentions, and making, planting those seeds. If you have been watching from the beginning, from 2022, we've done meditations where we envision or imagine that we are planting a seed. And the seed may be a little piece of paper where we wrote our intention. And some people do that for real. But I love meditation. I love imagining things. If I can see it in my head so clearly and then journal it, then I don't need to plant it, right? But the other way to do it is to get some real seeds. If you want to plant tomatoes, or if you want to plant a potato, or if you want to plant flowers. And as you're planting those, then you ponder what your intentions are. And intentions can be anything from, I really do want to get this job, I really hope I get it, to I want to uproot and move and do a 180. From realistic to like really big, especially with Jupiter and Gemini, kind of inviting us to dream big. So there's a lot riding on this new moon. And if you're following the book, then you know that we get journal promptings for every new moon and full moon, and a big old space right here where you can answer your questions and then paint over it. Now, the instructions are there, but you don't have to paint over it. I do like to paint over mine because it's a meditation in itself. It's relaxing, obviously, but it's really about creating something new once you have covered or planted what you wrote, especially on this one. So really think about what you're going to manifest. And then remember, of course, that things don't come up or manifest right away. Sometimes they take years. Sometimes they just happen right away. So it's just interesting how life unfolds once you start paying attention to these things. Awareness is magic, like Deepak Chopra says. So, question number 1. How does the energy of nurturing, home, and emotions, so how does the energy of these 3 things resonate with where I am emotionally and in creating a safe, supportive space in my life? So where are you emotionally? Where are you in terms of nurturing yourself? In terms of your inner home? How do you feel about your body? What's coming up about your health? So Cancer is also the Chariot for those of us who like tarot. And Chariot is your body as well. It's not just the vehicle that you use. Your number 1 vehicle is your body, if you think about it. And so how is that home? And then how's the bigger picture? How's, I feel like sometimes when I say the word home in a few conversations or just in general, there's no place like home kind of instantly comes to mind, right, Dorothy? And it's funny how we make these connections with films or songs or movies or shows that we have watched, but we have to ponder it in reality. So what's coming up? And then Saturn being retrograde in Pisces is going to bring up things from the past. So if we have been kind of having setbacks or having just specific conversations with the people in our family or in our home, then we might be revisiting those conversations or those things or those just energies, if you will. Peter says, definitely need to work on self. I feel like we all do. There's priorities, there's that ball rolling, there's those dreams that we are putting into work, right? There's those deadlines that we need to create for. There's like these things happening all around us that we have no control over. And so all of that to say, don't put yourself down. I hope, right? That everything I bring up, you don't put yourself down for, because we're all struggling here and we're all like doing our best, right? So Peter, you're doing awesome. Question number 2, mid-year review. How might I inspire a sense of optimism and growth in the next coming months? So I feel like that question can be broken down into what areas of your life do need improvement or do need some growth or some evolution, like self-work, Peter. And then how can you add a sense of optimism, a sense of, sorry, I'm watching this candle because we've had a fire before, but it is separate from the wall. So y'all let me know if we catch on fire again, because it's happened before. And then question number 3, so Cancer, this one. How can I embrace my deeper emotions and nurture my intimate feelings during this lunar cycle? How can I embrace my deepest emotions? Like, what does that even mean, right? How can I nurture myself through what I'm feeling? For somebody like me, so I grew up being berated for how loud I was, right? How emotional or how intense, some of the things I see in my child now. And so that's fun to revisit, right? From a parental point of view. But what that does is it creates self-consciousness around expressing emotions. And so, I grew up being the type of person who would never cry in public. I would never cry in front of a boyfriend, no matter what happened. I would never cry during movies with friends or just things like that, right? I would always just cry in silence, and that's, part of the trauma. But moving forward or fast forwarding to now and having questions like, how can I embrace my deeper emotions and nurture those emotions? Well, then that probably for somebody like me means giving myself permission to cry and knowing that it's okay to do it, and kind of, giving me a pat on the back through it as I do it, so that I can actively nurture my emotions. Does that make sense? And so there's a lot coming up, because everything that's coming up, it's meant to be worked on in order to then let new things roll by, come in, and manifest. Yay! The affirmation for the new moon is, I am grateful for a detailed review of the past and look forward with optimism, nurturing my emotional needs. Oh, it's here. Nurturing my emotional needs and fostering a supportive environment in the coming months. I embrace and honor my deepest emotions, nurturing my well-being and sense of security within the sanctuary of my home. That's a loaded one, right? I mean, is your home even a sanctuary to begin with? What does a sanctuary even look like, feel like to you? Maybe you want to call it something else. Absolutely. Whatever you want to call your home, right? You just scratch what I wrote and stick it in there, because the point is to make this experience your own. But yeah, I embrace and honor my deepest emotions, nurturing my well being and sense of security within the sanctuary of my home. That's a tall order. But see, the thing about affirmations, in my opinion, you let me know how they work for you. The thing about affirmations is that I'm going to read it, say it, and journal about it, even if I don't believe it yet. That's me. That's part of my journaling practice. If the instructions, if you will, are to ponder this affirmation, which is what the book is inviting you to do, which is what we are all invited to do, then I'm going to sit and ponder it. And so part of my pondering, part of my studying forever has been to write things down. This is why I have a journaling practice. And so it's saying it and writing it down and having it in conversation and really sitting down with these words makes me then look at my home or my inner home and ponder, how am I making this a sanctuary, a temple of peace, a real respite from the madness, from the stress, from the chaos that is unfolding all around. So that's the week, y'all. By Sunday, we're going to have the moon in Leo. So we're going to start next week with a moon in Leo. And Leo, again, much like Gemini with Jupiter in it, it's asking us to think about the joy in this madness, the joy of, the hope, the joy in the hope of what we're trying to manifest, just hope and joy are the only two words that are coming to mind. Ron says, love the word respite. I hope I said it right. Yeah, just a sanctuary from the storm, right? Not just around us, but think about group interactions as well, right? Think about being the calm in the storm. I posted about this a few days ago, because I want to make sure that I don't fall apart when the moment of truth happens, which is what mindfulness is about, right? I'm going to meditate today and I'm going to journal today so that the next time that there's a stressful situation around me, I can remember to breathe and to be centered and to remain calm so that we can think rationally. Remember, if you're in survival mode, because you're highly stressed and you have no clue what to do about what's happening, then you're in your lizard brain and you need to be in your prefrontal cortex to reason, why is this happening and what am I going to do about it that is for the best and for the good of all? And, what is it that I'm committed to doing? And Venus in Cancer, it's bringing up all of these values, right? And what is it that I believe in? And what is it that I value that now this emergency is bringing up, or that this emergency is putting into question, or that this emergency is, making me recommit to? Because everything happens for a reason. So if you really think about it, there's something in everything. Yay, let's meditate. Emma says, lizard, lizard, lizard. Yes, well, they're cute and all, but the lizard brain is just, it's definitely helpful, right? It saved us from, I don't know, mountain lions and the mammoth back in the Stone Age. But right now, with technology and with just the way things are and politics and all these things happening, we really need to think about the rationale. We really do need to think about the logic of things and not so much the survival of it all. Although, you know what? Scratch that. I take it back because that's a lie. Because things are so bad that we're all surviving. So you know what? There you go. We just need to make sure that we can straddle both, that we can be in both places at once. How can you be in your lizard brain and in your prefrontal cortex at once? Talk about Gemini. Talk about the two. You know, here's the two, 1 and 2. And so it's just very interesting. Neural science. Let's not get into neural science. Let's go to our meditation. So if you're willing and able, lay back and relax. If you're driving, do not close your eyes. Hi, Taryn. Congratulations to Taryn. Before we go into our meditation, let's all give a round of applause to Taryn, who finished her degree and is celebrating. Oh my goodness, Peter, neuroscience is so much fun, and it's also part of why I became a coach. I just love the fact that the brain can, you know, do so many amazing things, like create new neural pathways with new habits and awesome things happening. So if you want to talk more about it, Peter, let me know, and we can book a call. Now, lay back and relax. If you're driving, please do not close your eyes. But if you're in the safety of your bed, then go ahead. Music for this meditation is brought to you by Brain FM. You can find a free trial in the link in the description below. We're going to meditate unguided. If you prefer guided meditations, by all means. Yes, congratulations, Taryn. It just feels so good to finish what you started. Yay. So sit back and relax. Relax your body. Settle into your space. And follow my lead as I guide you through some breath work. With me, take a deep breath through your nose. Deep breath through your nose. Fill your lungs all the way. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale through your mouth. Nice and slow. All the way till you have no air. Hold it at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4. And inhale through your nose. Once more, deep inhale. Fill your lungs all the way. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale through your mouth. Nice and slow. Long exhale. And as you relax into this exhale, I want you to envision that you are planting seeds. And every seed that you place one by one into the soil is a different goal, a different dream, a different hope. And slowly but surely, you open the soil, you place the seed, you you cover it up with dirt and you water it and you feed it and you give it light and you watch and observe and it grows. And little by little, every intention becomes something you can see and touch. And right now, this week, you're invited to really ponder what is the one thing I want to see happen, the one thing I want to make, the one thing I want to do. With me, take a deep breath through your nose, nice and long, deep breath through your nose. Hold it at the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale through your mouth, nice and long, exhale, nice and slow. Hold it at the end, 1, 2, 3, 4, and inhale once more through your nose. Deep, long inhale, hold it at the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, nice and slow. And as you relax into this exhale, ponder these affirmations. I embrace the wisdom of change, allowing old patterns to fade, creating space for new and nurturing beginnings in my life. I look forward with optimism, nurturing my emotional needs, and fostering a supportive environment in the coming months. I embrace and honor my deepest emotions, nurturing my well-being and sense of security within the sanctuary of my home. I am safe. I am loved. I am guided. I am protected. With me, take one last deep breath in through your nose, all the way up, all the way till you have no room for air. Hold it at the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, and give a long, slow exhale all the way through your mouth until you run out of air. And then relax into this exhale. And slowly bring your awareness into your body. Wiggle your toes and open your eyes and come back to me. Yay! And that concludes our week review. Welcome, Adam. Are you not working? I'm so glad that you're here. Adam watches the replay because he works the night shift. Oh, my sister says that she's still awake. Yay. Peter says, really great meditation. Thank you so much, Peter. I appreciate that. So really quick, thank you, Taryn. We started the week with the moon in Taurus, inviting us to slow down, but don't fret because there's a lot happening. And so we need to keep the ball rolling. So don't really slow down. Tuesday, we have a moon in Gemini. Wednesday as well. Friday is the big event, which is the new moon in Cancer, inviting us to really ponder the seeds that we are planting, the intentions that we want to manifest. What are those? Go big or go home. Jupiter in Gemini is inviting us to dream big, and then also kind of inviting us to find the joy in the mess and in the chaos. So how can you practice more of that? And then by Sunday, we have a Leo moon, which even though the new moon could be in your feelings because it's a Cancer moon, by Sunday and Monday of next week, we have a fire sign kind of jump starting everything. So I'm excited to discuss then. We will be here at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know if this wall will be here, but there will definitely be something behind me. I do not like a blank wall. And yes, I am struggling with the walls in the house being bare. But you know what? Grateful to have a home above all. So thank you all, and I will see you next Moon Day. Bye, everybody. Have a great week. I love you so much. Bye.